Okay, what about anybody in California? What's another app?
YouTube. One student.
We said we already have YouTube.
Yeah, we have.
What's another one? What's another one in California? What was that, Dennis?
You said email. You got
Gmail. Gmail. Good.
Gmail.
Okay, this is taking a lot longer than it should. What else? Anybody here? Voice, okay. Dominic is coming in with the obscure ones, and there's one more. Chrome.
Chrome.
Okay, Chrome. So, but today, or this week, we're focusing once again on what sub-app? Forms. Okay. So for our new people who haven't done this, you should take your composition book, have a page in it that just is titled Google Apps, and it's on your table of contents, Google Apps, and it has a drawing that has the 8 apps in it. We always put the one we're studying in the middle. Why? Yeah, because it's our focus, right? And we draw it this way because every app is connected to every other Google app. That's one of the reasons we use Google Apps, is they're all connected. They work together. Okay, so did everybody here watch the video? Okay. Nobody in California has watched the video yet, right?
But seeing that, we can watch it again.
Nobody's watched the video, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Some have.
Some have. Okay. Well, so my suggestion would be to watch the video, and then we'll rendezvous with you because we're going to do a little bit more review here.
Okay. We'll watch it.
And it's a good video.
Okay.
So we'll check in with you shortly.
Okay, Ed.
All right. So anybody have any questions about these apps?
I will. Ed.
How does voice connect?
When I come back.
You have all your contacts.
Contacts, right.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get it.
Contacts connects those two. What else connects to voice? What's the app? Which one of these is associated with Hangouts? Right, Google Plus. Okay. How does Gmail connect with Calendar? Events, right. Excellent. Okay. And what about Maps? What does that connect with? Has anybody seen on their drive maps that were shared? Okay. Huh? Sheets. Okay, well, Sheets would be a way to add stuff to your map, right? Okay, that's a good point. So, and Sheets is part of Drive. And
Connect maps with your events on your calendar.
you can connect maps with your events, absolutely. So that's good. Anyway, the point is all of these things work together. And they're all free. And they're updated regularly by Google. So it's worth knowing this is the best way to get businesses to move to the cloud. Okay, now today we're doing forms. And what I want everybody to think of is the projects that we're working on. How can you use forms in the magazine projects? How can we create a form to do that? So let's see, for the people that are making calls, that back row, right? we're going to start with what? What are we starting with? To make calls.
Who you calling?
Well, we start with, but how do you decide who you're calling?
By the people on the
Map, right, okay. So there we start with the map. And everybody's seen the map. Have you seen the map, Desmond, that Velvet did?
Yeah.
Dawn?
Yeah.
And of course, Velvet saw it because she created it. Okay. Start with the map. And one thing that you can do is put in a search term, like what, Ed? Okay, you could put in the name of a location,
coffee shops.
or you could put in something. If you put in coffee shop, what happens on the map? Yeah, there's a little red dot, and some of them are paid, and there's a bigger thing. It might have a letter in it. So one thing you can do would be to call that location just from the map, right? Okay, another thing you could do would be to take the information from the map and add it to a form. I'm thinking that when we did SPQR, when we were making calls with SPQR, it would have been good, right, Rodney, if we had a form and every call we made, we tracked that way. Okay, so, but for our purposes right now, what would be a form that we would be using for calling locations? What's the first field? What name?
The name of the company.
So business name? Okay. What's the next field?
Location.
Address? Okay. Okay, then what? Who's got another one? Phone. Okay. So when you have address, though, what do you mean? To me, address is the street. Are you thinking that they put in the whole address in one line?
No, there would be two separate.
Okay, so city, state, zip. Okay, we have phone. What else would we want to know? Email. What else might we want to know?
They have a magazine.
Okay. Do they have La Voce? Current La Voce, right? That's question number B. Number A is, do they have Ciao Tutti? Right, that would be the first question. Do you have Ciao Tutti? Do you have La Voce? No. Yes. Whatever. Okay, what else? What else did we have on the map? I mean, on the form.
What number? How many times has it been called?
Well, how would you know that?
Oh, I guess you
Okay. You'd know if it was the first time, but you wouldn't know the next time, but you wouldn't need to know because you can sort them in date order. Okay, so what else would we want to know about making this call?
There's the contact person.
Okay, let's say contact. Who did we speak to? What else? Huh? Okay, that's a good question, but that would be a different form. You weren't here yesterday, so but a good guess, or a good suggestion. What else? Something you want to have on most forms is like something for notes, or comments, or something to add. Okay, what else? We want this form to be short, but we want it to be complete. So what else would we want to know if we're calling a place? Okay, well, we'll plant that seed. Now, what type of field is this? So when we're doing forms, when you create a form, and everybody should go to open a blank form right now. How do we open the forms? Drive, then what? New, then what? Form. Okay, drive, new, form. What? Go to more, yeah, right. So under new, it's on more. All right, so the first thing you have to do when you create a form is you have to give it a title, right? You should always give it a title. So what do we want to call this form? Let's call it CT call record. Okay, let's just call it CT call record, May 2015 version 1A, V1A.
Should we put our names in it?
Nope,
2015 what?
V1A for version 1A. Now, when you're doing it at this level, everybody is creating your own form. It's not shared with anybody. We're not going to use this form. This is just practice for creating a form. So CT for what? Chow Tuti. Call record tells what it is. This tells us when it is. And then this is a version number. So if you're looking for it 5 years from now, if you're looking for this form, you have a lot of help, right? Because you can say, show me everything that's CT, show me everything that's May. You might remember, oh, call. Okay, so now we've got that done. Your form should have the first box filled out, right? Okay, so now you're ready to ask a question or to enter a question. What do you have to do? You just start typing in. Huh?
Click on title question.
Click on what?
Untitled question.
Okay, untitled question. All right, and then what do you type in there? Let's type business name. Business name. So when you're creating a form, you want to have everything go in chronological order so it flows. So we have some things out of order here. So business name, now what type of field is this? Text, right. So that should be, make sure you push text. Okay, and then you should check the little box that says required question on your thing. You should click where it says required question. Okay, and then hit done. Let's go to the next one. The next one you type in address, and what type of record is that? Text. Okay. This doesn't need to be required. Now, the next one we have here is phone. So what do we do there? Same thing. Text, right? And we do the same thing for city, state. No, we don't do the same thing for these. We want to make it easy. We want to have a checkbox or one of the other things, multiple choice or something, because we want to type in Las Vegas. We want to put the choices in there. Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, other. Okay, so for city, they have 4 choices. Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, and other. So that might not be a checkbox. That could be multiple choice, or what's the other one? What's the other one called? Choose, yeah, so one of those is the one we want. Those are all a little bit different. Multiple choice? Okay, multiple choice gives you other. Does it give you other? Okay, one of them, you can push two different answers. Checkbox you can push two? Okay, so we don't want checkbox then, because we don't want them to say I'm in Las Vegas and North Las Vegas, okay? So then you change that to multiple choice, right? Multiple choice, okay. So this is multiple choice. State, what do we do for state? No, because we might not have their address. What do we do about state? Multiple choice. What are the two choices? Nevada and other. Now, for the people in California, they would put Nevada, California, or other. What about zip? What type of field is that? Text, right. Good. What type of field is email? Text, right. Okay, do they have a current La Voce? What type of question would that be?
Multiple choice, yes, no.
Okay, could be multiple choice or it could be choose from list. I don't like choose from list because it doesn't look good on the sheet. There's just a blank box there. It doesn't say choose one. So if you do multiple choice for that also, that would be good. And then the same thing. Now, what are the choices for these? Do you have La Voce, the current La Voce? What are the possible answers?
Yes or no.
Okay, what else?
Soon.
No, you're asking, do you have the current La Voce? Not sure, right? I don't know. And let's see, Rodney, you were here when we called last time, right? Back in January. And a lot of people, not a lot, some people didn't know whether they got La Voce. Now, a shortcut, instead of typing the next question, do they have Ciao Tutti, over on your text to the right of the question title is a pencil, and next to the pencil is something that means copy. Okay, duplicate. So if you duplicate it, and then just go in and change the word La Voce to Ciao Tutti. Hi, Dennis.
Hey. So most of the students had it. You get a lot of feedback.
Okay, say that again, please.
You get a lot of feedback.
A lot of what?
Feedback.
Oh, a lot of feedback. What does that mean?
Well, echoing. Every time we hear it again.
Okay, so that usually happens when there's multiple microphones on.
Okay.
So if some people are watching this live and they have a microphone turned on,
Okay.
or I discovered, Dennis, when I open up two versions of the same, I have two Hangouts open that I opened too. I have one in the background that I didn't know.
Okay.
So the microphone I have is working for two different Hangouts. I'm signed on as two people.
Okay, that's yeah, just the one. That's somewhere else. Or Michael.
Tell me when you're ready, Dennis.
Oh, we ready?
Okay. Okay, so I'm looking back at the event. So we're gonna take a step back, everyone, then we're gonna move forward. So I'm looking at the notes, the description of today's event, talking about what Forms is, and I get, Dennis, that most of the people there have already done Forms once, and most of the people here have already done Forms once, but we still have a bunch of people who have not done Forms at all. So,
Correct.
So form, Gina, what would you think a form is?
Just exactly that. It's something like that you would fill out.
Okay, so now let me ask it this way. In the context of Microsoft Office, okay, is a form like Word?
Yeah.
Okay, not really. I mean, you type, but it's not the same thing as Word, right?
Word, Microsoft.
Yeah. Okay, it's not like, it doesn't, you don't say, somebody says, do you know Word? You don't say, no, I know Forms, right? So what would the equivalent be in Microsoft Office to Forms? What's the equivalent to Docs? What's the Microsoft equivalent to Docs? Word. Okay. What's the Microsoft equivalent to Sheets? Monica. Yeah. What's the Microsoft? Excel. Okay. What's the Microsoft equivalent to presentations or slides? What's the Microsoft equivalent to slides? PowerPoint. What's the Microsoft equivalent to Forms? Huh? Okay, there really isn't one, but the closest thing, so that's the right answer. The closest thing would be Access. What is Access? What is Access? In California, what is Access? What is Microsoft Access? What type of a program is that?
More like that.
Huh?
Data.
Okay, Microsoft Access is a database
Right.
programming tool. Okay, that's the closest thing. So Forms is about a database. So the important thing to know about Forms is it's for creating databases. It's a great tool to create a database. It is a fantastic tool to create a database. How would you describe a database? Rodney. Okay, Monica. Okay, so a database keeps track of a certain type of information. Information that is similar, that every entry has similar type data. So for example, it could be all of the business names of something, right? Business names and addresses of something. It could be all of this stuff goes into something that's called a database. And what is the purpose of a database? Suzanne, huh? To what?
To store your information.
No, that's not the purpose of a database. That's one of the things it does. It's to be able to sort data. Okay, so imagine, Dawn, we have a database that has 100 of these records. Okay. How valuable is that database if you can't sort it?
You could can sort by coffee shops, you can sort by last name, you can sort by.
Right.
name.
So a database allows you to take a whole bunch of data that are separated. It'll turn out there's a separate column for each of these. So there's a column that says business name, one that says address, phone, city, state. It looks like a spreadsheet. And you can sort the whole database on one or more columns. So for example, you can say, I want to know all of the coffee shops in Las Vegas in alphabetical order. And it'll go through and it'll sort that in alphabetical order for you. So why would people care? Why do we care about being able to do that? Would you guess?
An advertisement or how to find them.
Okay. All right, so a little bit more general.
You can find out how many people have, what are the magazines?
Okay, blank is power. What's blank?
Knowledge.
Huh?
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Okay, knowledge is power. Okay, so the purpose of a database is knowledge is power. We have all of this information. If we can sort it any way we want, if we can find a particular person, that is power. And, or in a database, you can say, what is the address for this guy? Show me Bob's restaurant. I want to know about Bob's restaurant. And all of the records that you have for Bob's restaurant, one of them is called notes. So if you have a database of 10,000 names and you have notes, one column says notes, and you say, well, tell me about Bob's. You can go to your database and it will take you to Bob's, and you scroll over to the column that has notes and you can read the notes.
I have a question. Is that like, say when I call to pay my phone bill or something like that, you know how they have, is that what they go to? Are they
Yeah.
on something like that?
Okay,
when
they
say,
have a database.
Hold on, let me check, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. And then they go to that part and say, oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
doing it now.
exactly. That's all a database. So 100 years ago, how did they do this? 100 years ago, no, they didn't have microfiche. 100 years ago, everybody would have a folio. Everybody would have a piece of paper called a folio. And on there, it would have all of the information. So if it was a customer folio, at the top, it would have the business name, address, phone number, contact person, all of this stuff that doesn't change. And then there below that would be a whole bunch of columns, lines and columns, and it might say like date. The first one might say date, and the next column might be what did they buy, did they pay? And so to send out invoices to people, people would go pick up the folio, the metal case that held all the folios, pick it up, bring it over to their desk, take the first one out on their typewriter. They would have a thing called invoice or statement. They would type in all of the information at the top of the folio, fill in the invoice, fold it up, put it in an envelope, put it over here in a stack. Then they go back to the folio and they check the box, or they put in the date that they prepared the invoice.
And they upgraded to Rolodex.
Okay, well, a Rolodex was for something a little bit different. A Rolodex is for contact information. Okay, but the problem with the Rolodex is you put everybody in alphabetical order. But is it by their name or the business name? So some people would say, well, I'll have 2 entries in my Rolodex. So now you get this Rolodex that's really large. So it wasn't until the 70s, probably, maybe the 60s, but certainly in the 70s or in the 90s, when people started getting personal computers, the databases became very important. So all businesses now are able to use databases. But most of us here grew up in a world where we didn't have databases. It was done the hard way, where you had folios. So one of the powerful things about Forms is it's an easy way to create a database, and you create the database by the document that the person fills out. So just like when I asked Gene in the beginning, what is a form? It's like, well, a form is a form. What do you mean, what is a form? A form is a form. We know what, everybody knows what a form is. Google made it easy to create a database starting from the form side. On Microsoft Access, they started on the report generation side. And one of the last things you do is you create what it looks like for the person. So that's why most people don't know Microsoft Access, because it's not straightforward, it's not intuitive, it's not easy. But Google Forms is very easy. So the point is everybody should master forms, and you should see the world from a database perspective. If you're going to start asking the same questions over and over, or you're going to do repetitive tasks like this, typing, your typing scores, you should have a form, and every day you put in, here's my typing speed today. Here's my brain rush score today. Here's my whatever. If it's repetitive stuff, because then you can go look at it, and then you can create things like a graph. So if every day you're writing your typing score in the book, it's easy to turn that into a spreadsheet. It automatically turns it into a spreadsheet. But it's easy then to turn that spreadsheet into a graph, and you can watch your typing score go like that. And if you did that, what will happen is these kinds of things won't happen. You won't have a dip, or it'll be a less of a dip because you know where you are. You're going to say, oh boy, you know, here's where my thing is. I'm up to this speed. I can't go backwards. I really got to focus. I got to push myself because I needed to. Are only recorded once a week. You know, there's kind of an attitude of, well, all I really need to do is be better by Friday, right? I screwed up today. I just need to be better by Friday. The point is, a form is a very easy way to keep track of repetitive data. And in Google, they make it easy for you to create databases. So one way is forms. What's another way? What's one of the other Google apps, would you guess, that is a database? Huh? Circles? No. What? Sheets is the spreadsheet that it is exported to. But what is another database that we automatically create?
Right. Calendar.
No. Okay. Well, Drive could be like a database. It's a database of files. And you can sort in that database, right? You can sort by last read, last opened, who the author is. You can sort by name. So yeah, Drive is a database, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Maps is sort of the same thing, but this is a database that we don't even know we're creating, but we're creating this database. Huh? No. Calendar is also a database, but it's not really that. Okay. We talked about it in terms of your social net. No. Contacts. Your contact list, your contacts is a database. And you can sort in that database. It's an automatic, invisible to us application where it's a database. So databases are very important now because it's so easy to store and manipulate data. Forms is a great, easy way to create databases that you need. So let's see, where are we for okay, so let's go to our today's event. And it's up near the top. It said, today we'll create a form that will help us with our proactive employment plan. What's step number 1, Monica?
Our proactive. What is the first step in our proactive employment plan?
On today's event, on the notes, description, what does it say is the first thing we need to do?
Start with one of the most important applications.
No, down below that it says 1, number 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, customers, surveys, whole, what they like.
No, above that, the letter 1, not A. Right, there you go. Okay, so for new people, there are things that are called jobs and things called careers. For the state, this is a career training school. What used to be called a vocational school, but now they call it career training. They don't call it job training. Here, there's 2 types of things, jobs and careers, where people pay you for your time, where there are laws that protect you if you are doing work for other people. So a job is what? Something that what? Something you do to pay bills or for money. Okay, that's a job. You do it to pay bills or you do it for money. What's a career? Okay, so a career is not that. It's something you're paid. Well, no, you don't want to do it for free. So if it's a job or a career, one of the things is there are laws that say you have to get paid if you do certain things with your time. Okay, there's laws protecting you. Here, we break careers into 2 categories. Called what? A calling and a destiny. So careers at this school, we break it down that there's 2 types of careers, a calling and a destiny. A calling is something that, as Jesse said, you would do for free. You like doing it. Like everybody, most people have a hobby, they do it for free. In fact, they pay to do it. A destiny is something that you would pay to do. You love it so much, you'd pay to do it. Okay? So we are Larson's Proactive Employment Plan. It start with, what do you want to do? How did Nolan Bushnell say it? For people who were here when Nolan was here. What did he say? You find something that you can't tell the difference between you're doing it because it's work or you're doing it because it's fun. You like doing it. Okay, so here, a career is either a calling or destiny. So on point number 1, think of the place that you want to obtain a calling or destiny position. So that's a career. Think of a place where you like doing the job, you do it for free if you could, or you'd pay to do it because you love it so much. Think of that. That's number 1. 2, imagine the position you'd like to have. 3, imagine what your daily tasks will be in that position. 4, design one form that you can use to help your employer either A, make more money, or B, save money. Okay, so that's the form we're going to create. So the idea is once you know where you want to work and what you want to do, then you can create a form. Now, what do you use this form for? No, what would you use this form for that we're going to create? You'd use it when you're in your interview. When they ask a question like, why do you want to work here? Why did you apply for working for us? Why do you want to work here? If you've created a form, that means you put in the time and energy, you visualized yourself working at that place. And by creating a form, you've come up with something that shows them that you get it's about making money or saving money. How many other applicants do you think will take the time to do that? Probably none, okay? But they might be interviewing the top 10 people, and if it's somebody good, if it's a good employee would always do that, that wants the job. If this is where I want to work, I want to work at that company, I want to work there, I'm going to be prepared. And I'm going to know about the company. And today, I can easily create a form that would show them I've got ideas, I'm somebody that can come up with things. So we want to create a form to do that. So it could be for customers. So hence the form could be for customers, how to get new customers, surveys, polls, etc. It could be for prospects, could be for employees, could be for suppliers or vendors, could be for competitors, could be helping you do your job by keeping track of customers, things, people, etc. So it's not hard to create a form for a business. How many people here have never had a job? Nobody, everybody's had a job. They've got a paycheck. Okay, good. So even if you hated the job, at least you understood a little bit about what they did, right? So everybody could create a form, or everybody's been a customer, right? Has anybody not ever bought something? Okay, so we could create a form that was about a customer survey form. And given that we only have 5 minutes, 6 minutes, that would be maybe the form to do, or people here, I would continue on this form. Okay, and so this form would be, okay, our business is surveying businesses. We're going to survey, we're going to call people up, we're going to ask them some questions that we want to know the answers to that relate to their business. So create a form that does that. And we're pretty close on this form. There's one other field I can think of that needs to be added, and that would be type of business. And what type of question would that be, Jesse? Okay, what's your second choice? Exactly, okay. So what would we put as some of the answers? Restaurant, right? Coffee house, pizza parlor, club, lawyer, barber shop, other. So I would try to keep it to have like 5 plus other. Okay, Dennis, any questions in California that I can answer?
Anybody have a question about form?
Because we'll spend the last 5 minutes doing our form. So everybody here, finish your form.
Okay,
And, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We have already forms and a few showing them. So any questions? No questions?
Okay. So create a form, and the thing is, when there's not a lot of time, just reduce the number of questions. The key thing is to finish. So now the other thing you can do is you can change the order of the questions. How do we do that? Who knows? Right, left click on it, and then you can move it to where you want it to be. So you don't have to worry if they're in the right order. So creating forms is something everybody should get to be very good at. And it should be a tool that's in your toolbox that you use all the time, as often as you can think of using it. Okay, any questions here? Okay. Okay, so we're going to pick this up tomorrow, Dennis, where we left off,
Okay.
and we'll do another form tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
How's your blog doing, Joe?
I'm working.
Okay, good. Keep at it.
Okay, we'll see you.
Thanks, guys.